can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around. Another weekend in some hockey town. With a pucked up parents, frozen toes, big hearts, bad luck. With a pucked up parents, one more tourney, one more puck. We're broke, we're loud, we love this grind. Cause our kid just scored and we lost our minds.
Greetings and welcome to Puck Up Parents. Angela, we're at episode number 23. 23, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, but we're not here to talk about basketball. We are here to talk about hockey. Angela, how you doing?
I'm good. Welcome, everyone. We are the Pucked Up Parents. We have been hockey parents for the last 12 years, and we started out as novice first generation hockey parents, knowing absolutely nothing about the sport in a non traditional hockey town. And here to talk to you about everything we've learned during that time and what we're still learning.
We have two kids that play hockey. One is 18, about to go to college next fall. We have a just now 12-year-old, so he's still in the 12U program. I'm terrible at sports. I can't play baseball. I can't throw a football. I became a firefighter instead of playing sports. Angela, on the other hand, she's a little more athletic than me. She played softball for Auburn University and did some gymnastics, but hockey was new to us. We're in Kentucky. We're in Northern Kentucky. Not much hockey around here. So we're here to help you learn and hope you join in on our podcast, comment, share, like us. And as we do every week, Angela, let's talk about what happened in hockey last week for us. We had a scare.
We did have a little bit of a scare. So our 12-year-old was playing some roller hockey, took a bit of a spill, and ended up in the emergency room for an X-ray on the arm. Thankfully, nothing is broken, but a little bit of a scare there that we did hit the emergency room Sunday afternoon just to make sure we didn't have a break from the roller hockey. So those of you who are out there on your rollerblades in this off season, be careful.
Angela, we have a guest upcoming here shortly. She co-wrote a book about in injured hockey. Luckily, it's not hockey season, so if he did break his wrist, he would have all summer to recuperate. Although pools are not fun when you're wearing a cast. And so that's pretty much it for hockey for us this week. Kind of a slow week. Again, just roller hockey, one visit to the emergency room, and everything's fine. Let's get a short recap of last week's episode. What did we talk about?
So last week we talked about hockey siblings. Most of the time they're the younger siblings because they're being drug around to the different rinks, and we often call them rink rats. So we talked a little bit about what to do with those siblings that have to follow you around to the rinks while you're traveling all over.
I still don't like that term. I think it's a little derogatory, rink rats, maybe derogatory toward rats as opposed to little toddlers running around with snot nose bread and their smudgy fingers on the glass. All right, let's get into today's topic. We have a special guest with us today. Joining Pucked Up Parents is Christie, I'm going to say this right, Christie Casciano. Is that correct?
Almost. Cash. Oh, no. So
Apologize
close.
to some of your clips. Christie is a award-winning television news anchor from Syracuse, New York. She's also, if you get the subscription like all of us do, USA Hockey Magazine. She's a USA Hockey Magazine columnist, author of My Kids Play Hockey, and also the children's Puck Hog series children's book. Also, I believe you have a podcast out there called Our Kids Play Hockey. So, Christy, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to be here. You two have a story very similar to my own. So I'll take you back to when I got introduced to hockey. My husband was the athlete, but he never played hockey. I was a figure skater. And we introduced our son, our firstborn, to every sport you could think of, but nothing stuck. And both of us were thinking, gosh, what are we going to do? We really want the kid into sports because sports, they can learn so much. Both of us have seen that. I mean, sports can teach life lessons faster than anything out there, right? So we really wanted to encourage that. And he wanted to too. My sister happened to be into hockey and both of her kids played. They took Joey out on the ice and that was it. He never looked back. My husband's shaking his head. Of course he would pick hockey. My husband couldn't skate. I didn't know anything about hockey. I was even, to be honest with you, I was not a huge fan of hockey players because as a figure skater, the hockey players always got the better ice time and they smelled. And it's like, why don't you have toe picks on your blades, right?
That little topic makes up in her book. It comes up Was
That's true.
was a little upset because the, hockey players on the ice.
Exactly.
How old was your son when he started playing?
He was a late bloomer. He played football. We got him into Little League. We got him into even karate, and he did basketball, but he wasn't a hockey player until the age of almost 8.
Okay.
He went out there and he said, "This is what I want to do. I wanna be a hockey player." Okay. So we put him in a learn to skate program first, which was great. And being a figure skater, I actually hooked him into some figure skating classes, which paid dividends because when he finally did get to play hockey, the coaches always used him as an example of how to do the deep edge work and crossovers because that basic skating was so important to it was a great foundation for him to become a really good hockey player. So, it was really just a surprise to us that he picked
Our oldest
hockey.
our oldest son also took skating lessons, of course, like most I had lessons with him, and it was with a figure skater, and it to your point, it paid dividends because
Yes.
that the backward skating, which is super important, he learned how to do that and
Mhm.
learned how to, make quick cuts and quick slices, so yes, the figure skater. Now, did your husband eventually learn to skate, or is he like me, just,
No.
stand on the glass and look like a baby deer if he ever walked out?
Oh, yeah, he was and he tried not to get involved too much in coaching, let the kid go out there and learn from the coaches. He would give some advice if Joey would ask for it, but he never was one of those parents who was always in his ear saying, "Hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this." He always was a believer in just letting kids go out there and figure it out, which I think is a great parenting skill.
I think I'm
I
cut
think that's huge. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think that's
off.
huge. Yeah, same thing with our kids. As Michael mentioned, I played sports growing up, but I knew nothing about hockey. But just
Mhm.
kind of that encouraging the kids to go out and work hard, listen to their coaches, do the things that are being asked of them, and not pushing them in a certain direction or with a certain skill or a certain drill or anything along those lines. I think is really helpful in allowing the kids to kind of find their own way and find their own love of the sport, whether it's hockey or baseball or basketball or whatever sport it is. I think that's a great way to go about things so that the kid really finds their own direction.
You raise such a good point, and I'm sure both of you have seen this with overbearing parents, parents who are really pushy, who are really trying to drive their kid to love hockey. It seems to me anyway, from what I've observed, is that's a great way for your kid to lose their love for hockey. And once they've lost that love for the sport, then you've lost them. They're not going to want to go back. They're not going to be encouraged to go back. You got to keep the love of the game.
You're taking away the fun of it, and with our boys, they always wanna be on the ice, and
Mhm.
we're always like, "Are you sure you wanna do summer skate? Are you sure you wanna play spring
Yeah.
hockey? You don't have to
Mhm.
do this," and they're like, "Yeah,
Right.
I wanna do it." We were always under that impression, and we always saw the parents yelling at the kids, "Leave,
Mhm.
set," or getting to the coach's ear, and we were always kinda just shrugging our shoulders going, "Okay, whatever, we're fine with that if he makes this team, if he doesn't make this team, as long as he's happy out there playing hockey." And Angela and I'm telling you, I read your other book, My Kids Play Hockey. We could have benefited heavily from that when our kids started back when he
Mm.
was 5 years old. We didn't know anything. We didn't know you had to sharpen skates. We bought, Hockey for Dummies was the book that I bought
Just good. That's a good start.
for a good
Yeah.
time being. So, Angela, let's get into, our first topic, which is what the puck am I doing? And I think number 1 question was answered. We were looking for your hockey origin story, and you actually gave it to us.
Oh.
What was
Mhm.
the next question that you had?
So my next question, and I always ask this question of people that we're interviewing and just kind of other parents. What was that first moment you knew I'm a hockey mom? What was the situation where that light bulb went off and you were like, "Yep, this is it. I'm in, 2 feet deep. That's it."
Had so many of those light bulb moments, right? I'm going back to when my son loved to have his skates tied so tight. He was one of those kids that everything had to be buttoned up tightly. So I could never get his, his skates tight enough. I'm there in the locker room and the coach comes over and he says, "Do you need some help with that?" I go, "I can't get his skates tight enough." Then he hands me a key and he shows me how to tighten them up with this key with the laces. I was like, "Oh, I'm a real hockey mom now. I know how to lace up skates and get them Perfect. Yeah, and then when you're doing the scheduling and then you're trying to figure out how to manage your job with your kids' lifestyle, and then the weekends, as the laundry is piled up sky high and you don't even care because
Playing
you just
playing
love
just
watching your
fill in
kids.
the bag. It's almost its own part-time job. You're
It is.
mapping out your
Yeah.
schedule, and I think that which was good that Angela asked that because I think that's the topic of one of your upcoming articles is, when did you discover am I mistaken in that? That when
Oh, no,
oh,
so this is great. So I'm gonna pull up my notes
oh,
because
good. I
this
wanna
is
hear some other parents' stories.
this is really fun. So my latest USA Hockey magazine, my editor actually came up with this topic. He said, "Let's throw it out to parents. You're a hockey mom when?" And have them answer the question. So this is a riot. So I got answers from parents all over the country. Now, let's see if you can relate to this one.
Wait,
Ready?
real quick before we get because I submitted on
You
behalf
did.
of parents for Angela, and Angela, what was yours real quick?
When our oldest started playing, our youngest was a baby. About a year into our oldest playing hockey, I had our youngest, who was about a year old at the time, in one of those backpack carriers on my back. And I'm carrying a hockey bag with the 7-year-old in tow. And then in the locker room, again, same as you, trying to tie those skates nice and tight, except I had a toddler on my back.
The same thing, because my daughter was, let's see, Joey was 8, Sophia is 6 years younger, so she was 2 when he started well, no, actually, she was just a little baby, and I was carrying her around the rink, and you know what's
Mhm.
great is that all the moms jump in to help you.
Yes.
I got her, right? They all like taking turns of rocking the baby and walking the baby and entertaining the baby, and so what a wonderful community, oh, right? You never feel alone when you're a hockey
It takes a
parent.
village, and the hockey rink is certainly a
Yeah.
village. Let's hear some more. I wanna
Oh, okay, this is a good one. You know you're a hockey mom when you yell so loudly that every kid on the ice turns to look at you, or when you know your kids by their numbers, not their name. When
that
you say how about this one? You have a 14, okay, that's not their actual age, that's their birth year.
that was a learning curve for me because they were like, "Oh, your kid's an '08." I'm like, "Why do you
And
carry '08? He's 10."
even
No, his birth year's
right.
'08.
And I love that. I just think that is so funny. How about this one? When you have a portable fridge and you heat up the lunchbox in your car, or when you have blankets in your car and it's August.
Yes. Yes.
This is a good one. You can relate to this one, Angela. Okay. You have hockey tape in your makeup bag, right?
Everywhere.
How do you use hockey
Making
everything?
everything.
Oh, you got an
I've
in
used it for Christmas wrapping paper.
There you go.
I give out my gifts and they're like, "Why is there hockey tape on my Christmas gift?" "Oh, that's what I use. I just use hockey tape. It's
That's
everywhere."
that's what was
Yeah,
available.
that's
That's what
it.
was
I
right
got it
there.
everywhere.
Yeah.
That's such a
You know, a great way of keeping hockey tape, go to the dollar store and you get a paper towel rack, you know, what you
Yeah.
put the paper towels on, and you use that to stack your hockey tape.
All
It's
right. I like
brilliant.
it. Yeah,
It's
that's
brilliant.
great. That's great.
I got so many tips for you guys. Hang in there.
Yeah. I
Okay.
love it.
we're gonna
I
take every
love
one
the
of 'em.
tips.
Here's another one. Oh, this is so cute. Your legs look like ripe bananas from playing goalie so your son can practice shooting.
Yeah, because you're getting beat up by the puck. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was from a hockey mom from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have garage doors that are pockmarked with puck spots.
Yeah.
We have a broken window and 2 broken
Yes.
lamps right now.
Yeah. Those kids cost you money, don't they?
They
I got a
do.
I
And
had
it's not just the equipment, it's everything else.
so one time the kids broke a window on the side of the garage, which I never discovered, and they never told me. I go out to the garage and all of a sudden there are squirrels in the garage.
Oh,
Squirrels.
no.
How did these squirrels get in the garage? But they never told me they broke the window last fall. So I had these squirrels invade my garage. And one of them was so clever, it was a pregnant squirrel, climbed up in the rafters and had her babies up there.
Oh
God.
So
my
yeah,
gosh.
thanks kids. Thanks hockey kids.
We'll share one of our stories.
Okay.
I have a '65 Mustang, a classic Mustang, and it's
Oh.
a detached garage. We were at a party in the neighborhood, and our teenager came over with this pail, and we were like, "What happened?" The puck went through the window of the garage, sailed over the Mustang,
Oh,
put back and landed on the back window sill. Missed the Mustang.
oh,
He was
thank
more scared
goodness.
about of course, being broke, but I'm like, "Did you hit the Mustang?" He goes, "Oh, no, I cleared the Mustang. It went all the way through the garage and landed on the back window."
Good
Like,
job.
right, left
Good
shards of
job.
glass everywhere, though. We were
Right.
cleaning up broken glass for weeks.
As long as the Mustang was safe, who
Right.
cares, right? Good job, kid. You
Alright,
went out, you cleared the Mustang.
let's talk about this March 2026 article that Angela referenced, "The Way to Being a Hockey Player." Angela, what
Uh-huh.
was your takeaway from
Mhm.
that article?
I read the articles all the time, but that one really hit me as, oh my gosh, this is all the stuff that people don't think about that come with being a hockey parent. Kind of that emotional labor that you have to do to, talk your kid through a bad
Mhm.
play or they're, on a high or on a low. And then all of that other mental labor of, like we mentioned earlier, scheduling everything and fixing your work schedule around your kid's
Mm.
hockey schedule and doing all of the tournaments and just all of those different expectations that you don't even realize come with being a hockey parent.
There's a lot to it. A lot of people think that they're just a bunch of parents, crazy parents who drive their kids around in freezing rinks and everything. But I gotta tell you, we do it for our kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The rewards, there's so many rewards. I look at my 2 adult children now, and I know hockey really had a lot to do with how they handle pressure in their jobs now. My daughter's now in law school. She's the one who took hockey all the way to college, and she
How
played very competitive hockey,
did
and, so
did you
now she's in law school.
did you
Go
see this
ahead.
early on? Was she very argumentative with the referees, like, trying to plead her case, like a lawyer, and you're like,
When she was a captain during her youth hockey years, yes, you could see that. I'm like, "Well, she's gonna make a good lawyer someday. She's really winning this case." But yeah, there's so much pressure on her right now. She's right now she has finals coming up. She's in a bubble. She's in this place, but it's almost as if she's back to right before a big game, gearing up for it. And I s- saw this process the whole semester, tough exam coming up, one shift at a time, which she always did in hockey. Don't think about the big game. Don't think about the competition. One shift at a time. Never too high, never too low. And just always believe that you can do it. It's really amazing the skills they pick up as hockey players that you see later in life that help them develop into these amazing people. You know, I can't say enough about the hockey experiences that I've had personally. I've matured a lot. I've learned a lot from it. And my kids are just these great people. And I see a lot of what they learned as hockey players, even the failures. And one of the things my husband and I always made sure to do is let the kids figure it out. So many parents want to fix things. You want to be what we call in central New York, we call them the snowplow parents. Because you get all this big snowfall and you want to be the snowplow and pave the way so it's nice and clear and smooth for them so they don't ever have to face adversity or difficulty or challenges. But failure can be the greatest teacher in life. So it's okay to see them fail because you know what they're going to do? They're going to figure it out. And you got to let them do that. Don't be the parent who has to fix everything.
yeah,
Right, because 'cause they've
I'm
gotta
sorry, I
learn
don't
that
mean to lecture, but
No, no, I love it. I couldn't agree more, and I think that's where the kids get their resilience, figuring out that, "Oh, man, that was a bad shift. I've gotta go back out next shift and
Mhm,
play better," or, "I didn't make that team this
mhm,
year, but I'm gonna go out and work hard next year and try to make that team," or whatever. I
mhm.
think that's just part of the game, and I think you're right. If the parents are clearing the way, they're not learning some of those life lessons of the resilience and take it one piece at a time
Yeah,
to get through those tough moments in life, whether it's the hockey game or your law school exams.
100%,
so
100%.
last year, our teenage son, they went to state. I mean, we're in Kentucky again. We're in Kentucky. It's not
Yeah.
a big hockey state, but we do have state tournament, and they lost in the state finals in a shootout, and it crushed our son.
Mhm.
Still got a bid to nationals, but nationals didn't matter. It was state, and coming into senior year, it inspired him to play better, to shoot more. They won state this year, so the goal was accomplished. And they even made a deep run into the nationals, but I could see that failure last year, and I want to coddle him. I want to help him out.
Mhm.
I want to talk him through it, and I even like downplayed this season. I'm like, you know, you guys graduated a bunch of kids. You guys might not be as well. You might not win state. I mean, me being negative
Right.
Nancy to my kid, probably not a good thing,
Mhm.
but he turned it around. So the being hit on the ice and arguing with
Mm.
kids, they have a temperance that they can handle, and
Mhm.
that bodes well in life. They don't get easily mad, they're more laid back, and that's the cut of a hockey player. They can take a beating, smile, and keep going, and I love
Mhm.
everything about it. I'm so glad we found hockey,
Yeah, and make sure they put it on their resumes when they are job hunting because my son actually it gave him an advantage. There's a lot of competition for a job, and when his prospective employer called him in and sat him down, he goes, "I see on your resume you played hockey." And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "Hockey players are special." He goes, "I played hockey." And then, of course, they're talking to hockey and what their favorite teams are and everything. And he said, "You got the job." He said, "Because I know what you're made of, and I know what you've been through, and I know that you're gonna be resilient, and you're gonna be tough, and you're gonna figure things out." Yeah, so, it's definitely an advantage as the kids get into their job searches. It teaches them accountability, how to manage time. I mean, look what your kids are doing now. If they wanna play hockey, they have to learn how to manage their time, and that was one of our rules. If you start failing in school, if you start missing tests and you're not doing your homework, hockey's gone. Wait a minute, that was a huge carrot stick. What do you mean? You gonna let me play? I'm the best one on the team. No,
No,
gone.
no, you don't get
You're
to play
gone.
hockey if you don't do well
You're
in school.
gone.
That's number 1
Yeah,
rule.
yeah. School studies come first.
last
Was
studies on
always our rule.
the parents come in that think their kid's going to the NHL, and I'm like, education is more important.
Exactly.
All roads lead to beer leagues, and our kid is gonna get a college education, and
Exactly. That is so true. I think sometimes the hardest part as a parent is staying in your lane because you know you feel everything too. You every missed goal, you feel it. Right? Every tough shift, you feel it. But you have to let them have their own experiences.
I
You
don't
should be there to support, guide, not necessarily to steer. And that can be harder than people think.
when Angela was at the state tournament last year, and even at the state tournament this year, she wore one of those watches that checks your stats, and it was I think you said it was off the rails, like, you looked like you were
Right.
about to
Yeah,
pass.
so one o or actually 2 of our games in the state tournament last year went to shootouts. And
Mm,
so the heart rate monitor on my watch
yes.
during those shootouts
Yeah.
was off the
Oh,
charts
yeah.
to the point it was like, "What are you doing watching a hockey game?"
I know, just breathe. I know
It's
that's like I know exactly what that is like 'cause my daughter, in her high school hockey days, they also went to states. They won a championship, but wow, are you like, I didn't even know I could feel all those my heart palpitations, right? Like, "Oh my
Right.
gosh, I'm about to have a heart attack. Somebody get me an
Yeah.
AED stat."
Right. It's like, I'm not even playing, but
I
my heart
know,
rate's higher than the
right?
kids on the ice.
It's
Angela
crazy.
wasn't that hasn't been that high since she met me in the first time.
Oh, see,
I
I
love
roll.
that. That is so sweet. I love that.
Personally, I take stress walks, like, it'll be 3rd period with 4
Yeah,
minutes
it's
left,
good.
right by a goal, I'll go walk around. Sometimes I'll leave the rink and pull it up on
Yeah,
YouTube to watch it because 'cause
yeah,
I'm that
yeah.
nervous. So back to your articles, how do you
Sure.
decide on the subjects of your
Yeah,
art?
that's a great question. Sometimes they come from parents. I've almost become the dear Abby of the hockey
Your idea of
community. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Going back to how I got selected to be a USA Hockey Magazine Hockey Mom columnist, my kids were playing hockey. I was blogging about it just because I was so excited that this was a whole new experience for our family. I was just enamored with the whole experience. I started writing a blog, and the USA Hockey Magazine editor, Harry Thompson, at the time, ran across it. I don't know how he found it, but he saw it and he liked it and he thought it was kind of cool. So he found me, sent me an email, and asked, "Hey, first I thought it was a scam. I'm the USA Hockey Magazine editor. Oh, yeah, sure you are.
Trolling me.
Um, just like I got a scam the other day from a guy who claimed to be Ryan Seacrest. "I wanna do a story on your, hockey books." "Okay, Ryan Seacrest." I thought it was a scam, but then I looked up he was legit. That really is Harry Thompson. I wrote him back and I said, "Sure, I'd love to. What's your idea?" And he said, "Well, we're looking for somebody in the trenches." I said, "Yeah, I am in the trenches. You got the right girl." And he said, "We want a perspective from what it's like as a hockey man, what you're observing, what you're feeling, what kinds of experiences you can share with other parents. We're not relatable. So I sent him a couple of articles as tests. He liked my writing style and he said, "Yeah, let's do this." So we were working together. And again, I was thinking, how many topics are we going to come up with topics every week? And Harry was just brilliant because really has the pulse on what people are thinking and feeling in the hockey communities, both just from the coaching perspective and from the parent perspective and from the player perspective. And then I would come in with, hey, that's great, but that's not reality. This is really what we're feeling. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're going through. USA Hockey needs to know what we're going through. And you need to listen to parents. And he said, okay, all ears.
It's a great
So,
magazine. We look
yeah.
at I flip through it, I'm like, "Oh, hockey strategies, skip.
Yeah.
NHL players, skip. Oh, look at the cute pictures by the little kids, awesome. Your
Yeah.
art, yes, I can relate to this." So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, I mean, he'll say, "Well, okay, so we have a new editor this year." Harry retired. So Justin Flisco, he reached out to me last week because 'cause we're trying to brainstorm what kind of topics are we gonna come up with for the next couple of months. He said there's a goalie issue coming up in the summer. I don't really know a lot about goalie parenting. So I asked him, "What do you think about something along the lines," and this is just from observation, of making sure the equipment fits your hockey player and the training fits based on age and development, and he loved it. So I'm gonna reach out to a USA hockey goalie expert and kind of brainstorm with him on an article that will help goalie parents figure out when is it the right time to put them in this type of training. And maybe there are little telltale signs that the equipment isn't really a good fit for them. So that should be a really fun article. So we're going to do that. And then Justin said, I really want in the fall for you to do an article. He goes, because I hear about this all the time, crock pot recipes and how to I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it'll be so fun." So it's really cool because we run the gamut. Last month, March, that was a heavy issue. That was a heavy article about the weight of a hockey parent that really got
Yeah.
into the emotional side of it. And I love the fact that he wants to lighten it up too and just have some fun articles too,
I
which that is so telling of hockey, right?
I love the,
It's
metaphor
Right.
yeah.
crock pots in your book, and the goalie thing, Angela are the same way. I mean, our kids aren't
Yeah.
goalies.
Yeah.
We did do an interview with our son's goalie mom, and that was
Mhm.
very insightful, and
Yeah.
we'll get to do another one with her, so a big time
Mhm.
to switch your goalie out to new gear is when you remortgage your house to pay for that.
I love it, yeah, and those masks that they have painted on, I mean, my goodness, how
Oh,
much
that's
does that
right.
cost?
Wait, Angela, what does Shawnee use? She doesn't pay for that anymore. She uses, like,
Yeah, so she uses, the vinyl that you do, like the
Yes.
Cricut vinyl stuff. So
Yeah.
she cuts that into
custom.
shapes or whatever and puts it on his helmet.
Clever.
And because it's, cheap and easy to do, so when it
Oh,
gets dinged up by the puck marks and
yeah.
everything, she just pulls it off and puts a new new
That's
one on.
brilliant. Let's put that in our hockey hacks book.
Yes, exactly. Well, and that's, one of those cool little hacks, and I
Mhm.
think the crock pot stuff, we talked about that recently when we went to nationals. One of the families is like, "I've got my crock pot in the
Oh,
room,
yeah.
and we're making this tonight," and all of those different kinds of ideas to save money, eat
Save money?
healthy, all of the things that you
Mhm.
can do while you're traveling. And again, that goes back to some of that, like, mental labor that goes into being a hockey parent that you don't think about before you become a hockey parent. Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna be traveling all of these weekends. It's gonna cost me a fortune to eat out, and I'm gonna gain 30 pounds by
Mhm.
eating fast food all weekend. Let's come up with some ways to navigate that and make it work.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I think it's really important to lean into the hockey community when you're in the hockey community. You can save time, you can save money, you can also just swap stories of what you're going through. And there's nothing better than having that hockey community. And to this day, here my daughter's in college, my son's been out of hockey for many years, and I still keep in touch with all the hockey moms who we bonded. We're thick as thieves. We have lunch once a month together. And that bond, that closeness, that friendship is as strong as ever. So, parents going through it now, these relationships that you're building, they'll be with you after hockey is over with. And it's a beautiful thing because you share those memories, you share those experiences, and you kind of relive it like, "Oh gosh, remember when the boys picked up that glass table in the lobby and they shattered it into a million pieces? We almost got kicked out of that hotel and banned from it for life." Oh my god.
Well,
So there's so many
Angela has a hockey mom group. They're affectionately known as HBI, Hockey
Oh, I love that's
Investigation.
awesome.
What's your game you play? Where were we? When?
We play a game, we say, "Where were we when?"
Oh, yeah.
And then we say whatever the story was, and we try to figure out which city we were in or which rink we were at,
So
whatever the
where were you in the lobby? They broke the lobby table there, Christy.
Oh,
What?
we were in Massachusetts, but I probably shouldn't say that because I think my poster is up in that hotel wanted, "Find this hockey mom.
"Do
She
not
owes
let
us a
her
glass"
stay here."
That's right.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you because it's been a topic on our show quite a bit lately. The hotel room coffee. You know, the coffee maker in a
Oh,
hotel room.
yeah.
You
Mhm.
drink that? Am I the only one that does that?
You are the only one who does that. You are
See?
the only one who does that. No one does that. That
Those
coffee's
coffee
terrible, it's
makers are
disgusting,
they're terrible, they're
horrible.
just there for show at this
Yeah,
point. Like,
exactly.
who's drinking that
No
coffee other
one.
than you?
Not a single person. Come on. Who's making the coffee? You assign someone to make the coffee run,
Right,
right?
exactly. That's on the
And
team
one
chat. You put
mom
your order in.
one mom
Yes.
takes the order, goes out and gets it for everybody, and brings it back. You don't drink the hotel coffee,
I mean,
ever.
I came up drinking coffee in a firehouse, which tastes like it was filtered through a jock strap. So I
That's
can't have any
true.
coffee that's out there. Let's get to our next topic, which is, are we there yet? And here we kind of wanted to
Oh.
talk about your books.
Oh, thank you. Uh-huh.
Read your books. Angela's reading. I think you're reading Angela. My kids play hockey right now. I think it's in. You took mine copy that's in your
Mhm.
bag. I made sure
Yes,
that was
I
for
did.
us. You had written a nice
Mhm.
note there. I appreciate it. So my kids play hockey. Again,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have to do this podcast, and we would have been off on a better foot if we had this book when our kids played hockey.
Aw,
Great
thank you.
stories, great relatability. Even if you're a seasoned hockey parent like Angela and I, well, we're not seasoned, we're still kind of stupid, but still some great tips in there. I loved every bit of it.
Thank
So what
you.
inspired you to write that book? I think it was published in 2018, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
okay, well, Harry I'll go back to Harry Thompson, who was my editor at the
So
time. We were
USA,
talking
the USA article existed before the book, right? Or was that after?
it's because of it
Okay.
the articles are the reason for the book.
Okay. Okay.
So, Harry and I were talking about, all the articles, and I said, "Boy," he said, I wish we could give your articles more shelf life because they're so good and so you've done so many that" as I've always told him, I wish I had this advice before I was a hockey mom, so going into it would have been a little less stressful and a little smoother, and although I don't regret any of the experiences because they're amazing. All of them were
Right.
incredible, but it would have been nice to have some guidance because, as you know, when you're dropped into this hockey community, first off, it's like you're dropped into a foreign country, a new language you have to learn, new culture, new rules, a whole new game, a brand new arena, literally, in your life. So it'd be nice just to get some guidance. And Harry said, "Well, if you want to put them all together, we wouldn't be opposed to you doing a book." Really? So I had to get some legal permission from USA Hockey Magazine to take all of the articles that I'd written and put them together in a book. And the cartoonist, too, agreed to also give us the rights to his cartoons as well. So, yeah, it's a compilation of the USA Hockey Magazine articles they had written up until 2018.
If you are a new hockey parent, I can't recommend this book enough. I mean, obviously, I recommend this podcast more, but I cannot recommend this book enough. It lays the groundwork from everything from the equipment, dealing with coaches, other parents, hotel room stays. You didn't have anything in there about not drinking the hotel room coffee, so maybe part two. But it is super informative. Angela, I can't wait for you to read it because there's a lot of stuff I took out of it. I was like tempted to get a highlighter out and highlight it, but I was like, I don't want to ruin it. I like to read books. I like to keep them
Mm.
clean and clean. So excellent, excellent book. It's
Thank
leaps
you.
and bounds above Hockey for Dummies, by the way.
Thank you. And what I think was really neat about the book too is my kids' experiences are in there, including injuries. You mentioned injuries. I have the orthopedic surgeon on speed dial with my kids. Sophia had a torn meniscus one year. Joey had a broken collarbone. One of the kids had, Sophia, one year had a concussion. So we have experienced all of that. And I asked my kids to actually write about their experiences. And Joey wrote an incredible chapter in here about his wrist surgery and being out with that injury and what it was like for him. So, yeah, real life experiences in there
Uh,
that even, you might not even think that that's ever going to happen to you. We certainly weren't expecting it, and it did. And how do you get through it? This will help you. This will help you, and
uh,
hopefully give you some confidence that your kids are going to get through it just fine.
and we talked about how, hockey set your kids for life and into school and into their
Hmm.
adulthood. I also enjoyed how Joey did much what our son did. He would write papers for school
Hmm.
related
Yeah.
to hockey.
Yes.
Science
Hmm.
experiments based on the angles of hockey. So hockey made its way into his school to make the grades, and I think Joey's actual essay was in the in the book, which I read.
Yes.
It was excellent. I was like, "Wow, this is really good." And as a teacher,
Yes.
they gotta be impressed with this.
And Sophia, she was challenged in her, I think she was in 4th grade. Her teacher asked them to write a poem about something. Of course, she picked hockey. This was a national contest that she entered with her 4th grade class. And she came up with this poem. I have it in front of me. Hockey Girl with Guts, she called it. I'm one of the few girls on my team. And when the boys get mean, I pull out my stick and skate real quick. My shot is really sick. On the ice, I'm never a bore. I love to score. I'm a puck hungry girl who would rather shoot than twirl. That won the national contest.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what was the prize? It was a silly poem contest. So write something silly. She got a huge box of all the silly stuff from this company, including a whoopee cushion, which she used right away on me. Yay! That was so fun. Yeah, hockey can be such a great inspiration for your kids. Writing, and you think about math and the calculations of hockey. There's so much that go into it that can help them excel in their schoolwork as well. And it's a great inspiration for writing
So
because I always found that my best writing comes from writing about topics that I love. Your kids love hockey. They're going to come up with some beautiful essays and research papers on the subject that they love.
great input by them in the book. Great input by you just have, like, random quotes from different parents around the country, which I thought was also awesome. I mean, from Florida to Arizona to
Mm.
Massachusetts. And then I read the Puck Hog series. I sat down with a cold beer. I'm probably the first person who had a beer while I, was while reading the Puck Hog series. I like to read books, what can I say? And I thought that was excellent. The first book was good, and even I was being informed as a hockey parent because in the back you put a glossary that actually has terms for the hockey, which I was like, "Oh, man, this would have been great for me to read to Sam when he was that age because I'm learning something." And I could tell the character's based on your daughter, right? So it's Sophia.
Sophia.
Yeah, and the brother's there, your husband as well. So excellent books. And I also found out the puck hog subject of the first book. Every team, every youth team has that puck hog who doesn't transition well as they age up because they're not passing and they think they can do everything. And even the puck hogs, I don't want to spoil it if any preschoolers out there are listening, the overbearing parent who expects a ton out of the kid and yells at the kid and how it bothers the young kid on the ice. So
It's all in there, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
Very relatable. That's what I hear from kids all the time, how relatable the stories are. After I do a lot of school visits, I'll bring the Puck Hog book with me, read it to kids, and ask them for their reaction. A couple of the kids will come up after the session and say, I'm the Puck Hog.
oh no.
I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I didn't really realize, but I think it's because I'm scoring and I'm having fun and I'm helping my team win. Beautiful, innocent thoughts, not anything malicious, not, "Oh, I'm out there to be the best." They think in their mind they're doing a good thing, that they're helping the team win, and why isn't that a wonderful thing? And the line that gets them at the end of my presentation is I'll say, "A real star makes everyone shine." Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, light bulb moment. "Oh, you mean I'm supposed to help other kids excel?" Yes. And assists count just as much as a goal. And assists can make you feel even better on the inside.
As a as a s
Oh.
as a selfish parent, both of our kids play defense. When they shift the defense, I'm like, "I kinda want them to score," but they ran up the stats and assist, and every once in a while, they got these the score, it does count just the same.
It does count.
As I've
It
read
does
it,
count.
book 2 has a nice wink and a nod to the Miracle on Ice and Lake
Mhm.
Placid. Excellent, which that's very topical now because of us coming out of our Olympics and the chatter about that. And then the, 3rd book, which just came out, right? It's brand new.
Brand new. Trophy Thief Mystery.
I was playing Clue. I was trying to like, "Who's the ice skater with the janitor? What are we doing here?" So,
I was a crime reporter here at News Channel 9 in
exactly.
Syracuse, which explains a lot, right? So I've always wanted to write a whodunit mystery. So I did it. I wrote a mystery, and it's for kids to figure out. So the idea is in the second book, Haunted Hockey in Lake Placid, which is a lot of fun. It's a fun read based in Lake Placid. The kids win the coveted Lake Placid Invitational Trophy. So in the third book, it's there in the trophy case, this big, beautiful, bold, shiny trophy that everyone is so jealous that these kids won it. Then one day during a game, disappears. Gone. The kids are shocked. Who would steal this trophy? There are so many suspects. Is it the jealous Zamboni driver? Is it those figure skaters with all their glittery and shiny and those toe picks? I bet you they stole it
Right.
because they're so jealous of that stupid trophy, right? But we also have the Boston Shamrocks, the rival team who should have won it in Lake Placid. Maybe they stole the trophy. So we have all these suspects, and the kids get to play detective and figure out who stole it. So you got to keep your eyes on the ice and the trophy in this book. It's a lot of fun.
Not only did kids get to figure it out, but 48-year-old adult hockey parent Michael Mauser sat and figured it out. Like, I was trying not to flip pages ahead because I was like, "I don't wanna spoil it. I don't wanna figure out
I
who
love
did
that. I
who did
love that.
till the end." So,
All right. You're my first review.
excellent book. I loved it. I mean,
Okay.
I love Angela will tell you, I read books all the time. I read books more prone to my age, but
Mhm.
so I picked up the kid and Henry, our 12-year-old walked by, he goes, what are you reading?" And I had to explain, I was like, "Look, man, that we're having an interview. I just wanna be topical and know what I'm talking about, so I'm reading this book. Do you want me to read it to you?" "Nah, I'm too old for that." I'm like,
Huh. I'll just have him know. A 12-year-old boy is reading that book right now, and he's
"Oh,
gonna let me know what he thinks.
I was gonna say, maybe it's the fact that dad was gonna read it
Yeah.
to him,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
not that, hey, he can go read this book himself. I think that's probably the better way to go about it.
Right, and while it is a fun whodunit mystery, I try to pack some important lessons in there
yeah,
without hitting kids over the head too hard with it. For example, I love this page here. I thought a lot about this, and my kids had a big input on the lessons that you can do, the takeaways from it. So I invite them in for the mystery, try and solve the mystery, but I try to put a lot of takeaways in there for them to leave and think about how they act, how they play, how they treat others. And I introduced some new characters in this book too, hoping for some empathy and for kids to celebrate your differences and realize the importance of respecting each other if you're on a team. So this page was kind of fun to write. Okay, so it says DART, detail, accountability, relentless, tough. Traits that will make you successful on the ice and in life. Sophia, what else should everyone remember? Skate hard and have fun. Sophia recited the team's motto. Fun, Eddie said with a laugh, maybe for us, but not for the Boston Shamrocks. They're going to need all the luck they can get after we beat their Beantown butts. My son lives in Boston. So he had a huge influence on that line, so yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Eddie, man, Eddie needs to calm down, Eddie and his dad. Do you
I
have
need his dad, yeah.
you have number 4 in the works? Are we looking at number 4?
Oh, okay, I just thought of this, and I'm gonna throw this out to you guys, and you tell me what you think. Brand new, no one's heard this. This is an exclusive.
Plucked Up Parents exclusive coming at you.
All right, so the kids get I hate to spoil the ending for anybody who hasn't read the book yet,
Fair
but
enough.
good. So the kids get the trophy back into the trophy case. The coaches are standing there looking at that trophy and they're excited. They're happy. There's the trophy. It's back where it belongs. But there's something missing. They need a complimentary trophy with that. because in Lake Placid, there's also the pond hockey tournament. Oh, so I'm thinking now these kids are grown up, they're peewees. I'm thinking peewees on the pond,
I like the
a
name.
whole different style of skating, a whole different style of play. These kids in this book are pretty spoiled. They've always skated on the best ice. They have the best equipment, the best skates. Now they've gotta play with wooden hockey sticks, skates that aren't the best because the parents won't let them bring out their are they 695 to vapor, whatever they are now.
The expensive skates don't go on the
They're
pond.
not going down the pond, right? What do you mean I can't skate with my expensive well, this is terrible hockey. And
Are
there's a whole new dynamic with outdoor skating. You've got
Mhm.
the elements, the natural elements. You've got ice that isn't smooth and you've got bumps in it. You've got rules too. I think that you don't play with a goalie with pond hockey tournaments. I gotta research all this. But I think it'll be a lot of fun to put the kids in a pond hockey tournament to see how they do. What do you guys think?
well, I
Pee-wees on the pond?
I love it. I think that's
Okay,
great.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
like
start working on it then. I have your blessings.
the kids play hockey as it was discovered, as it played
Right,
when hockey first came about. It was on the pop.
right. And I'm thinking too, maybe to for training, they have to go to a pond where there's no cell service. They can't
Oh,
have
Oh,
their
yeah.
cell no, no, my God, what do you mean we can't have our cell phones? Ah, they're gonna explode. They actually have to talk to each other? What?
no more drawing on a pad to plays. They're going to draw it in the snow. So here's how we're going to draw it in
Yes.
the snow.
No. Oh, I'm gonna steal that idea. I
Oh, okay.
like that.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
let's get to our next segment. Life moves pretty fast. So Angela,
Mm.
take this one.
We always try to come up with some reflections. Our oldest is a senior this year, and so I've been doing a lot of reflecting on our time as hockey parents. And we've talked a lot about how hockey has really set our kids up kind of for life and all of the lessons that they
Mhm.
learn. Are there any other reflections that you have from your kids' time as hockey players and your time as a hockey mom that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. And I wrote this one down because I really want to nail this one. So I want all parents listening to know that hockey has taught me to let my kids own their story. Not every coach is going to be perfect. Not every season's going to go the way that you hope, but those moments will teach them. And we've talked about this resilience, honesty. It teaches you patience as a parent, and it creates memories that you will never want to let go of.
What
That's perfect. Love it.
What do you miss the most about your days in youth hockey?
I love watching my kids play. Love watching them play. Just going out there, you never want to see them obviously get hurt and the injuries happen. But when they're out there in their element and they're going after that puck or they're passing or they're just being just happy, it's just a tremendous amount of pride as you're watching them excel and just have fun. I miss the camaraderie too of being in the stands. My husband never sat in the stands, by the
Oh,
way,
was
when
he the guy on the ice like this?
oh, he was very calm because he was a sadly, I lost my husband, as you know, 3 years ago to cancer, but he loved being a hockey dad, and his big deal was not to be seen. He would either go off in the corner by himself or with one other hockey dad who was also you'd never sit in the stands with the parents because he said, "The parents are crazy. I'm not sitting up there as we're yelling, 'Skate! Shoot!'" "Oh, like, your kids can hear you?" "No."
It sounds like
We're coaching them. We're telling them, "Hurry up, skate!" We tell them when to shoot the puck and everything, like they're like they can hear us, right? But he was always a great observer, and he always let them come to him, and they would. And they were never afraid to share how they felt with him because they knew he was that trusted voice. He was always so calm when he gave them advice, and he let them figure it out, which was amazing.
that lesson was very apparent in your book where you said when the kids get in
Mhm.
the car after a tough loss, after you
Yeah.
play bad, let them open up. Don't lay into them immediately. Let them and then tell them what they did good, and then maybe offer some constructive feedback.
Oh, they know what they did wrong. You don't have to remind them.
Yeah.
Car coaching is the worst. That is a huge No, no, do not be a car coach. If they want to talk about it after the game, great. Open up, let them talk, but don't force the conversation and don't pick out, hey, if you had passed that puck in the, third period and if this, no, they know what they did wrong and they know what they did right. So you don't need to drill it into them and be that constant force because that's going to drive the love of hockey right out of them real fast.
Probably heard it from their coach, probably
Oh, mhm.
and now they're hearing it from mom and dad, so it's
Mhm.
not necessary. All right, Angela, we're getting ready to wrap up, but we do our
Ooh,
week,
that
and
went so
Yeah,
fast for
I
her.
know, right? Yeah. Also try to do kind of a tip of the week as,
Mhm,
first time hockey parents learning our way through things. You just mentioned that you don't car coach,
mhm.
that kind of thing. Do you have any other tips, something you
Oh,
wish you knew
the
when you started out?
24-hour rule. Do you guys know about the 24-hour rule?
Yes.
Tell me about the
Yes.
24-hour rule.
The 24-hour rule, we don't talk it, but we give it 24 hours before we talk about it with the
Especially
coach, with the yeah.
especially with coaches. It's so easy to just blow your stack after something you've seen and say things that you're going to regret later. Give it 24 hours. If you still feel that way, then you can talk about it calmly and rationally. Because when you're in the heat of the moment, you're liable to say things you're going to regret. Make sure you follow that 24-hour rule. That's huge.
that's a good rule. Angela, have you implemented the 24-hour rule, or are you on the coaches immediately? Because 'Cause I'm more quiet when it comes to the
No, follow the 24-hour rule. There haven't been too many times where I've felt the need to talk about something
Okay.
after the fact, but
Hmm.
there have been a couple of times that I have, and at least 24 hours. And
Hmm.
sometimes, depending on the situation, let it go a little bit longer to see
Hmm.
if that situation continues to
Yeah.
percolate. And if it does, then that's when the conversation is necessary. But sometimes those situations just kind of was a one and done kind of thing, and there's no need to dwell on it or go back and rehash it. So yeah, I think the 24-hour rule is great, whether it's hockey or any other sport or any other situation. I think that's a good life rule.
I agree. I agree. And
what's
at the end of the day, remember hockey is just that vehicle. What really matters is the kind of person it's helping your kid become and the time you get to spend with them along the way.
what's the one thing you would tell a new hockey parent? So I'm a new parent, my kid's 8 years old, we're starting mites
Mhm.
next season. What's the one thing you would say to them to say, "Get ready for this"?
Be present.
Uh,
Be present. Think
mm,
about it.
yeah.
Isn't it true that we're always thinking what's next for our kids? Oh, I got to put him in this clinic. I need him to do this. He's got to get faster at a skater. He needs to learn how to shoot better. He needs be present. Enjoy what you're seeing. Enjoy the game in front of you. And stop worrying so much about what you're missing, fear of missing out. Stay away from FOMO. FOMO is another no no. FOMO is
Right.
a no no, just like the 24-hour rule. That's also on my list. FOMO, fear of missing out.
I think Angela said it best a couple weeks ago where she had stated that at the end of the day or the next year, when you look back on that tournament or you look back on that game, it's not whether you won or lost. It's the time you spent with the friends at the hockey rink. It's time you spent with the parents. It's for the little guys, it's the awesome snacks you got after the game. It's not the game itself. It's more of the camaraderie of everybody at the rink together, sharing the love of hockey.
Agree. Amen.
So with that said, let's get to our outro. We usually do right here. We do our small business shout out, but we're gonna table that for now because we have a book giveaway. Christy was nice,
Woohoo!
some Puck Hog books to read and to give away. They're autographed by you, the author, and also the artist. I believe is a family member of yours.
My sister, incredible artist. She does everything in pencil, which is a lost art form.
Oh yeah,
Amazing when you look at these drawings and you see how detailed they are. And she did it all in pencil. The reason why she picked that as a medium is because she wants to encourage kids that you don't need fancy graphics, you don't need fancy paints or computers. You can pick up a pencil and create some magnificent artwork. So when you get the book, take a look at the artistic work. You will be mesmerized by them.
They are great books, and we're gonna give them away. So if you follow us on Facebook, if you don't follow us on Facebook, go out there. I'll put a post out when I post this episode, details on the giveaway, probably like, share, follow, comment, and we will ship them out of the Pucked Up Parents household, courtesy of Christy, to you as a winner. So, Angela, anything else you want to add to that giveaway?
No, I think that's great. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting the books out into the hands of some young hockey players, and just greatly appreciate Christy joining us today and offering up the book giveaway. I've just really enjoyed our conversation and the books that you've shared with us. I think it's great. And I think we're on a similar mission of let's raise some amazing kids that happen to play hockey and see where life takes them and what lessons that they can learn from this adventure in their childhood.
Agree. And I need to make a trip out to Kentucky now. I got to see what kind of hockey you guys play. Sounds like fun.
We have a barn.
It-
We'll share a quick story that we've shared on the episode before, but Angela, would you care to share the wildlife that came out of the ceiling?
Okay, so our little local rink here, it's kind of in a little bit of a wooded area behind it with a creek and whatnot. And the kids were skating. It was during the summer. There was some sort of clinic at the rink, and in the ceiling where all of the insulation is, there were some cracks in the ceiling, and a snake fell out of the ceiling.
Wow.
Which
Whoa.
was quite entertaining, but I think the boys were probably 10 or 12 at the time. They thought it was great. Of course, skated over, picked up said snake, and tossed it out the back door back towards the creek. So that's some Kentucky hockey for you. But we also, I mean, we are essentially in the Cincinnati metro area, so we have some other rinks as well. And of course, as you know, hockey has taken us to many, many locations
Oh, yeah.
across the area.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the closest we've gotten to you is Buffalo. Your tournaments up in Buffalo and,
Go
everywhere.
Sabres.
Go
Yeah.
say doing good.
So that's a quick little tidbit about our local barn, as we will call it.
Like snakes in a barn.
Right,
You,
exactly.
add that to the, next episode of the Puck Hog. If they're doing pond hockey, the wildlife that infiltrates the rink, that's an outdoor
Yeah.
rink, although ours is indoor, so
I
I
love
was
it.
gonna
I
say that
may
it's not gonna be snakes, it's gonna be, a deer or something along those
I
lines.
like the idea of snakes. I mean, that's like all my books are reflective of real, actual events and happenings. So I'm gonna have to take the page, dedicate a whole page to snakes
In the rink,
in
yeah.
the rink. Snakes in the rink. That could be a whole nother book.
Right, there you go.
There are
That's
snakes in the rink, but not necessarily the kind that
the
crawl on. Yeah, right.
right,
You gotta
not the
watch out.
slithering
You gotta
kind.
watch for those snakes in the rink.
Yeah, yeah.
well, this is our
So
outro, and Chrissy, if we don't live in Syracuse, if we don't tune in to Channel 9 WSYR, where can we find you? And I know you do a lot of book signings. I follow you online, and I
Oh,
do see
yeah.
do you have any upcoming that we can promote?
I do have one coming up in Lake Placid,
Oh,
Memorial Weekend. It'll be so fun. We'll be at the Bookstore Plus. It's the main bookstore right on the main drag in Lake Placid. So if you're planning to travel out there Memorial Weekend, stop into the bookstore from, I think we're 10 to 2 on that Saturday of Memorial Weekend. I think, is it the 23rd this year? I think so. Yeah.
that sounds right.
Yeah.
I'll
So stop in and say hello. I'd love to meet y'all.
give you a
And
follow-up.
maybe you should invite me to Kentucky to do a book signing at one of your rinks. Woohoo!
Yeah.
The Queen City, Angela, or, the
Oh,
Queen City Sportsplex.
yeah.
Let's do
Right.
it. Let's do it.
All right.
We'll do a
We'll see
live
what
podcast.
there we go. We'll see what we can come up with.
Sounds good. You two are a joy. And thank you for providing such valuable guidance to new hockey parents. And you're on the same page as I am. You know, the rest of the world isn't crazy, right? The whole world is crazy. But hockey parents, we're really decent people and we get it right most of the time. So thank you for sharing this podcast. It's
It
fantastic.
we can't thank you enough for joining us. I know you're a newscaster, you're right for USA Hockey. We are just small potatoes here in Kentucky doing a
No,
little
no.
of our garage. So to have you on is an honor and a privilege. I loved your book. Angela will read your book. I love the Puck All books. I can't say enough about it. Look for our giveaway. Follow you on you're on My Hockey on Facebook.
Yeah, my kids play.
Where she's signing next. Angela, you want to get us to your go ahead and give our outro and I'll close this up.
Yep. Again, thanks everyone for listening. Please follow, subscribe, and share. Leave us a comment or question on whatever platform you're listening on.
We have merchandise tagged to the top of our page. We do have T-shirts. We should send Christy one. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Give us your comments, give us your feedback, give us show topics, and remember, keep your stick on the ice. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Up before dawn, can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around. Another weekend in some hot